189. The fairies are in the house. Yes, indeed. We are going to be talking about the Christmas in July fairies a little bit further into the video. But first, I want to say a huge welcome to all of you who come back each week and have stuck with me and been around like forever watching me. Thank you so much. And also a huge welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. We had over 100 new subscribers this week. Yes, totally amazing. I just kept watching the numbers going up, going, yes, yes, yes. So I was excited. Can you tell? Just shows just a little bit. But anyway, thank you for subscribing, and I hope you check out the channel and like what you see and stick around for a bit because we do have a lot of fun over here. Let me get started first with my finished objects. I have a huge amount of finished objects this week. It's so exciting. The first thing is not knitting or crochet related. It is a quilted pot holder. Now you may be wondering, why am I showing this on my podcast? Wednesday's video for the next 2 Wednesdays we'll have a video tutorial on how to quilt a pot holder. And I chose a pot holder, although mine's a very little pot holder, for very little pots. But anyway, it's a tutorial on how to do basic quilting. And so I chose a pot holder because I thought that was something small, a very small basic project to kind of dip your feet into to see if you liked it. Now, as I said, mine turned out kind of small. So it's going to be a mug rug. So I'm going to use my hot tea to sit on it. Sort of like a quilted coaster is what mine ended up as. But anyway, if you would like to learn how to quilt or experiment with quilting and see if you like it, this one took a minimal amount of fabric. I actually stuffed it with some leftover material that I had, so I didn't even have to use batting for it. And so there it is. So that's my first one. My second finished object is crochet related. Now I have been storing, where did I put it? Yeah, I have been storing my crochet hooks in just a zipper pouch, which was given to me by Lucy Solar in a giveaway. Oh, it was an exchange, like a yarn exchange type of thing that we did a couple years ago. And this is where my crochet hooks have been living. But as I'm acquiring more and more crochet hooks, I wanted to have something so I could see what I had and be able to grab it easily. So I made this. So it just ties on this side, and then it unwraps. Make sure I'm unwrapping it up, not upside down so all the hooks fall out. But it rolls out. I made it huge because I plan on lots of crochet hooks. And then under here, you can see all of my crochet hooks. And I was able to put them in here in the order of size. And I left some blank spots for additional. I've got a big gap right here because I figure if I get above the sizes that I have right now, I think my I have a lot of little teeny weeny ones, but big ones, the largest I have is a size N. So if I get any larger crochet hooks, I want to have room for them. So, and then this little thing here, which is an old cigar holder, it's an old metal one. These are antique crochet hooks that I use for doilies and stuff. They were given to me by a lady at my church, and they came in this holder, and it fits them perfect, and it kind of protects the points because it's metal. So I just didn't want it to look like a cigar holder, so I put washi tape around it so it looks nice. And so I just tucked that into the end over here. There we go. So that's what this is over here. So that was finished object number 2. And this is what the one side looks like. And then this is what the other side looks like. So I'm thinking about making these for my Etsy shop, but I don't know. So if you think it would be something that I should make for my Etsy shop, leave a comment down below and let me know. If you notice my background, I'm actually filming in my kitchen today. There's a reason for that. It's like 90 degrees and we've had thunderstorms, and if I'm upstairs, my craft cave is upstairs like in an attic type of thing, like a Cape Cod, and Dave's not home, which means the dog's down here by herself, and if we have a thunderstorm, she's going to be trying to get up the stairs, and because it's right under the roof, it's going to be noisy and loud, and yeah, so I thought it would be just easier to film down here today and eliminate the whole problem. So now let's look at my crochet and knitting finished objects. I finished my capelet. For those of you who have been watching for a while, this was a capelet pattern from Knit Crate back in, I think it was March or April. And here it is. I'll show you a little bit more detail in a minute. It has like a gourd, so it flares out. It has a gourd section here. And I don't remember the designer for this, but this yarn is so soft. I actually had this on last night until it got too hot because it's just so nice. It feels so good. It is 100% alpaca. It was totally enjoyable to work with. Now the pattern called for 2 skeins of yarn, but because I'm a little larger in some portions, we'll just say it that way, I bought a 3rd skein, so I did not want it to, it's a short capelet, so it doesn't go all the way down like a poncho, and I did not want it to end in an unfortunate location. So I bought an extra skein of yarn so I could make this a little bit bigger. So let me hold this up closer so you can kind of see what it looks like. It is a modified shell. I can't say too much because it is a paid for pattern, but it is a modified shell stitch with like a lacy eyelet in between. And then the increases take place with double crochets. You can see at the top here, they kind of go out from the top and they keep getting wider and wider. So it flares out, and yes, and it's a loose neck, so it kind of hangs just perfect. I really can see myself wearing this a lot. The nice thing, if you've never crocheted or knitted with alpaca, alpaca is very, very light, but it's very warm. So this is not a heavy capelet to put on, but it's very cozy and it's soft. And like I said, I had it on last night. I just could hug it. It's like hugging a baby blanket. And I got a lot done this week too. You can see where I was last week here. So I went all the way up to here. And I finished. And I finished my last round. The pattern I don't think was done this way. I kind of modified it on my own. The final round, I did 2 rounds right here of single crochet just because I wanted a kind of a finished edge. I didn't want it to be curling up. Now I have not blocked this. And if you're not familiar with blocking, if you're using a natural fiber, you don't have to do it so much with acrylics, but if you're using a natural fiber, you wash it afterwards in a gentle, like a wool wash, like Woolite, something like that. And then you pin it out so it helps it stay in shape, and you can also kind of stretch it out a little bit so the stitches themselves open up some more. And so I have not blocked this yet. To be honest, I really don't need to. It fits so nicely the way it is. So I'm going to stick a clip in of me modeling this so you can see what it looks like in its full size. Well, you'll see me in my full size too, but you can see what it looks like. And yeah, I love this. So I might be making more of this particular pattern. But it's just, I could just cuddle in this. It really is, it's just so nice. Anyway, I have this much left. That's it. So I really cut it close with going around on this because I just kept looking at it and going, can I make one more round? Can I make one more round? Because I wanted to use all the yarn up. I didn't want to have like an odd amount left over. So I just have this little teeny bit, which is perfect. I'll just put this in a scrappy project someplace. So I'm going to stick that clip in so you can see what it looks like on. So here's my capelet. It just looks great with the pink sweater, of course. Rust and pink go so well together. I'm a regular fashion plate. But there it is, and you can see it comes right down to my, like my forearms. So it's just a nice length, and I like how it's not too tight around the collar. You know, it's pretty much perfect. I love it. My other finished project is the camisole tee. And this pattern is, and everybody wait for it because I have messed up this lady's name every time I've said it, Lena Svagerson. I said it right this time. You guys will be so proud. It is by Lena Spagerson, and here's the interesting thing. I did a little research on who she is. She is actually the main designer for Annie's craft store. So if you go over to Annie's, and Annie's is one of my affiliates, this pattern actually is on sale right now for $3.99. It's normally, I think, $6 or $6.99, something like that. It's on sale for $3.99. Several of her patterns. She is a knit and crochet pattern designer. So when you go over to Annie's craft store and you see Annie's signature collection, she is the designer. So who knew? Anyway, yeah, she's designed tons of crochet and knitting patterns. So this one in particular is a knitting pattern, and I was drawn to it because I just thought it was very feminine, very flattering, and it doesn't show up well in this picture, but right here around the neckline, and you'll see it on my sweater, there's like some gathers right in here. So it's very figure friendly. It's just, I really like it. And so here is my finished sweater. I did it in a striped pattern, and this has been blocked, and it fits perfectly. And you can see those gathers I was talking about in the front. So it just fits very, very comfortably. And I did it, like I said, striped. This was the yarn itself striped like this. And then it has some dropped stitches at the bottom, which creates kind of those long lacier sections. And there are some dropped stitches up along the top here, which you can see. But yeah, I am really happy with it. This yarn was, I think it's like 95% acrylic, and there's like a 5% wool, and it has a little bit of stellina, which is sparkly stuff in it. And it's it gold or so? It's silver sparkly. And so yeah, I really, really like this. I'm really happy with how it looks. I like how long it is. It's not too short. It's not too long. So it turned out great. I'm really pleased with it. And I'm going to stick a clip in of me modeling this as well. So here's the sweater. And I really like how it turned out. I like the length it turned out at because it's right about, well, you can see it's just past my waistline. I don't like long sweaters, and I don't like real short shirts either. So this is just perfect. And the sleeves are kind of like a little cap sleeve, but they're, you know, a little bit longer that way. And the neckline is nice. I like modest necklines, so that's perfect too. So I'm real happy with this pattern. And there it is. I think if I make this pattern again, and I know I will make it for short sleeves, but I'm thinking I could make this for long sleeves as well and just not make it, you know, the sleeves here are almost like cap sleeves, as you saw in the video. They're kind of loose and flowy. But I could modify that easy enough and just make regular sleeves out of it. So anyway, there it is. So that is my finished objects. I only have one work in progress going on right now. It is a knitted one. I'll tell you in a few minutes what my next crochet project is that I'm going to work on. But here is my knitted one. This is the Find Your Fade by Andrea Mowry. It is a 6 or 7 color shawl, and it's almost more of a wrap. So I started with this pink and purple speckled, and then it stripes in here. It has like a eyelet right in here, and then it goes to stripes, and then it went to gray and to eyelets, and then you stripe. This is where it gets the name fading, because it stripes back and forth until it fades to the next color. And then it went, as you can see, it's getting wider. I'll hold it out here. And you do wear it this direction. It's sideways. So when you're done, it looks like you knitted it sideways. And then it went to black. And it has an odd shape. So you can see it's got this kind of funny cut in here. It's almost shaped, kind of reminds me of a paper airplane. And then I have this color here, which was my favorite, but this was also the largest section of the shawl. And so it took me a couple weeks. And then it stripes. It doesn't show up as well, but you can see the pink striped in with it through here. And now I'm in the solid section of the pink. And you can see how far I've gone, about 2 inches since last week. Now when I finished this color, I've got one more to go, and that's going to be purple, which is going to be perfect because it's identical to the purple here. And this pink, just by chance, happened to match perfectly with the pinks in here. It was just yarn I already had in my stash, and I was like, oh, let's see if it goes together, and it did. It was perfect. So that's my work in progress. Now we're going to have our show and tell section. Now, if you are new to watching the channel, we have a section or a segment called show and tell, and it's projects that you all are working on that you share with the rest of us. You can either put your projects, you can contact me by my email address, which is KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com. Tell me a little bit about what you're making and like the pattern or what kind of yarn, or tell me something about it and your name. And or you can contact me over on Facebook, and on Facebook it is Katrina Knits. I'm trying to change it to just Katrina's Creations, but it won't let me so far. But right now it is Katrina Knits, and you can go over there on Facebook and you can leave me a picture and just tell me what it's for and some information about it, and I will get the picture from there and put it over here on Show and Tell. So this is our segment when you guys get to show off what you all are making. So if you saw in there, Spring Noelker has been going crazy with dyeing yarn and doing a wonderful job out of it. I told her she should open an Etsy shop. So yeah, who knows? If she does, I'll let you know. So what is the project that I'm going to be working on next? I've been wanting to do this for a while. I am tackling a C2C. For those of you who are new, I've only been crocheting about a little over 2 years. I mean, I knew how to crochet granny squares and things. I've known that since I was a kid, and how to just go straight back and forth. But as far as doing more intricate patterns, I've only been doing it a little over 2 years. So this is my first C2C, and this is the yarn I'm going to use. I have 2 packets of this. Okay, so it starts with white, and then it goes through all different shades of blue. This yarn is from Joann's. It's called Big Twist Yarns Gradient. That's what it looks like. It's 100% acrylic, and let me see, what's the yardage? Does it tell me how many yards are? Oh, here it is. each of the skeins here has 116 yards. So I have a total of 10 altogether. So I will have a total of 1,160 yards by the time I'm done. So I think I'm going to start with the white and go all the way to the widest expanse of the blanket or afghan with the dark blue, and then I'll pick up with the other container of this in the white and go and narrow it back down again. Because if I start back with the blue, I'll have this huge blue section in the middle. So I want it to look kind of even. So that is my next project, and I jokingly said some of you might be on speed dial. Maybe I wasn't joking. But some of you have actually given me some really good recommends of different people to watch on YouTube if I run into a question with it. And I tend to do better doing that, watching YouTube to learn different patterns rather than try to figure them out myself. I have figured out some on my own, but I'm more of a visual learner. I do better watching other people. So that is my next crochet project. My next knitting project, I need to get started on some Christmas hats. For those of you who are new, I am a grandma. I have 2 children who are both married, but between the 2 of them, I have 11 grandchildren. So I've figured it out, and I've got 6 months to make 11 hats. That's almost 2 per month. Thankfully, some of them are children, real tiny little children. So I can make tinier little hats. So I might be able to do it, but I need to get moving at starting these hats. So yeah, that's going to be that's my next knitting project, is to get started on these Christmas hats for all of the grandchildren. Now, if you have been watching, many of you have come over because there's a whole flock of fairies fluttering around for Christmas in July fairies. And I am one of those fairies. So what is it all about, and how can you participate and join in? Because there's a lot of really good prizes involved. So let me tell you how you can enter to win big time in the Christmas in July Fairies giveaway that is running. First off, I will put a link. If you click on the little eye right over here, it will take you to the video, but I'll also put a link at the end of this video that you can click, and it will take you over to my entry video. And in my entry video, you need to be a subscriber, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment in the comment section. On July 15th, I will choose a winner from the people who have entered on that particular video, and that person will get a prize from me. But then their name will be given to Dana, who is Dana's Wanderlust Crochet. She's the one that started this whole giveaway. And she's going to take all of those semifinalists and enter them into the grand giveaway. And on July 25th, she will be choosing a winner, and that winner will get a prize from every one of the podcasters who are participating. So you have a potential of winning one prize, but you also have a chance of winning, if you're the big grand prize winner, of winning over 139 gifts coming in. That's a pretty good prize. So again, you just need to be a subscriber, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment in the video that is the entry video, which I will put a link down below or a link at the end of the video where you can click over to that to get entered. So, and also, I've been having a lot of fun. As you can see, I'm having a lot of fun with the whole, queenly thing with I always knew I was a domestic diva, I've been wearing this crown around the house a little bit. It's going to my head. I'm having all kinds of fun with it. So there is going to be a vlog this one day this week called A Day in the Life of a Christmas in July Fairy. I'm hoping it will be as funny as I am planning it to be, but I'm just having a blast with all this. I'm having a good time, and it was an excuse to dress up like a princess. So even though I'm in my 50s, we still like this thing going on. So yes, stay tuned for that if you like entertainment. Now it's time for acquisitions. I have several acquisitions this week, and none of them I bought. I bought this. Okay, and this is interesting. Just a little tidbit in trivia. Okay, this tiara, which was on eBay for $10.99, in case you're interested. Anyway, this tiara is an actual copy of Queen Mary of Britain's wedding tiara. And it's also Queen Elizabeth, the current Queen Elizabeth's favorite tiara from what I read. It is modeled after the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara that was made for Queen Mary in 1894 or 1893, something like that. And it was given to her as a gift. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yes, like I said, I've been having all kinds of fun with it. That's the only thing I bought. But my mother has been cleaning out the house because they're looking at downsizing. She ran across a bunch of vintage crochet and knitting books. She gave them to me. So what I found was interesting. Okay, this particular book is from 1968. It's called Quick Knits. It is by Family Circle. Here's some of the patterns on the back. Now, I mean, I'm not going to be knitting any of these because they definitely look like the 1960s. But here's the interesting thing that I have found with them. They're called Quick Knits because they were done with bulky yarn. But apparently they didn't have bulky yarn back then because every one of these projects, and another book that my mom gave me that was Quick Knits with the thick yarn, was not done with actual bulky yarn. They were holding bunches of yarn together and like crocheting and knitting it together to create a bulky yarn. So, I mean, at 1968, I was only 6 years old, so because I was born in 1962. So if you know about this, I'm curious, how long I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find it anywhere. When did they start making actual bulky or super bulky yarn? Because, like I said, this pattern holds like 5 or 6 different yarns together to create a bulky yarn, and so did the other patterns I've looked at. So, yeah. Just a little trivia question there. If you know when they started making super bulky yarn, please let me know. I'm just a little curious. So the other books that she gave me, this is Afghan's Knit and Crochet. This is, let me see if I can find the age on this one. 1961. It was the year before I was born. Here are some of the patterns in it. And this one I actually might use because, I mean, it's not like Afghan patterns change a whole lot, like clothing styles. But there's some pretty ones in here. I mean, this one even has pom-poms on it, which are coming they're back in fashion. But look at this one. It's crocheted, and it's like 3-dimensional flowers. So, yeah, looks like tulips. And they stick out, so it's neat. Oh, it's called Tulip Garden. Yeah, and apparently crochet hook and knitting needle sizes changed back then too, because they look like they're kind of different. Especially the knitting needles, I noticed a difference. Then she gave me 2 of these. They're the same book. One is the revised edition. These would have been before my parents were married. This is 1959, and my parents got married in 1960. And this is kind of a neat book because it has crochet, knitting, tatting, which I had done before. Not well, but I ended up sort of with a knot. But I have done some tatting. And embroidery. And it tells you like a little lesson on the basics. And then it shows you like a small project to make with it. So like here it teaches you shell stitch. And then it shows you a little thing to make, little pouch. A shell stitch tote pouch to make with it. So, yeah, I have duplicates of this one. One's revised, so I'm thinking that there was a mistake in it somewhere and they revised it. So I might keep them both just in case. But anyway, thought that was kind of interesting. And then this was in a giveaway at work. It is from Leisure Arts, who is also one of my affiliates. And it is Celebrity Slouchy Beanies for the Family. So it's all kinds of slouchy hats, which might come in handy since I have to make 11 hats between now and Christmas. So, yes, I might be using this book a lot. It might be worn out before I finish. So that is my acquisitions. Now it's time for Come and Get It. Now, each week, Come and Get It is some affiliates that I am affiliated with that are yarn or craft companies, and if there's sales that are going on, I try to let you know ahead of time what those sales are so you can get some bargains, because who doesn't love to save money? So the first one is Annie's Craft Store, and a lot of the patterns by this lady Lena Spagerson. Now that I'm finished the pattern, I can say her name easily. Anyway, a lot of her patterns are on sale. I saw quite a few of the knitting and crochet patterns over there for $3.99. Not all of them are on sale, but a good bit of them are. So, and she is, like I said, a knitting and crochet designer, and she's got some beautiful things out there, accessories and clothing. So just a little bit of everything. She, like I said, she is their main designer over there. So that is Annie's Craft Store, and the links to all of these sales are down below. You just click the link; it'll take you right over to the website. Create for Less is offering up to 70% in their clearance section. And then I discovered something really cool over at Create for Less. I was just kind of wandering around the site looking. They had this really neat book. Now it is a little pricey, but it's kind of cool. It's $21.74. Okay. It is called the American Crafts Hook Nook Journal and Yarn Passport. It's 8 inches by 10.5 inches, and it is a gold ring binder, and it has like little black or little gold corner pieces. I think the cover is black, and it has little, it's black or navy blue, and it has little gold corner pieces to protect the corners of the book itself. It has pages to put your swatches in. It has graph pages if you want to design. It has dividers and pockets for storing your patterns and pictures and things like that. So it's kind of an album to store your work that you're working on and just a record of what you've made. So I thought that was kind of neat. So I'll stick a picture in what it looks like. Now the Dollar Tree is still running while it lasts. They have Premier Cotton yarn. Now I did notice that the variegated patterns have 96 yards per skein, and the solids have, I think it's like 116. It's a little slightly over 100 yards. So you do get more yardage with the solid colors as opposed to the variegated. You do need to buy 3 skeins, but you can order online from Dollar Tree, have it delivered to your local Dollar Tree store, and you don't have to pay shipping costs that way. So, I mean, $1 a skein is pretty cheap, especially if you're making dishcloths with it. So that is running over at Dollar Tree. Now, there is a digital company that I work with that has I Like Crochet and I Like Knitting. These are both digital magazines, and they run, they have patterns in them, they have tips in them, and they have different techniques in them. There's different scales of, like what each magazine has in it. They vary in price from 99 cents a month to $1.97. They all are on sale right now, is why I'm telling you about it. They're about a 50% off right now. And the 99-cent a month version doesn't give you as much inside the magazine or as many patterns and things as the $1.97 does. So you get a little bit more packed in depending on how much you want to spend. So anyway, there's that. Knit Crate is still offering their $5 for your first box of yarn subscription. It is a luxury yarn, and it's normally $24.99, but you can get it your very first box for $5, and that includes your shipping and everything. It's just $5 to try your first box. If you decide you don't want to get charged every month, just make sure you cancel it before the first of the month, because that's when they will charge and get ready to send your next bunch out. So you also get about 4 patterns each month, as well as 2 skeins of luxury yarn. You get 2 crochet and 2 knitting patterns with it. So Knit Picks, I did not see any sales running right now, but if I run across some, I will send them your way. Leisure Arts, I thought I would go check out some socks. So in the knitting section, I found Socks to Go. It is 5 different techniques. It's only $2.99 right now for a download. And there are sock patterns in there, and they all use different techniques like top down, cuff down, toe up, all those different types of things. In the crochet, they have a book. It's $7.99. These are both digital downloads. And it's called I Can't Believe I'm Crocheting Socks. So I have tried crocheting socks once before. I will probably try it again, but I will probably try not do that pattern. Yes, my socks had bat wings on them. They were for very wide feet, apparently. Yeah, anyway. So that is that. Lion Brand has had a couple of sales, which I've let you guys know about during the week. So as they have sales come available, I will show you what's going on with those. So far, nothing that I thought was noteworthy. So that is it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget, Wednesday we are going to be learning how to make a quilted pot holder that is really a mug rug. And at some point during this week, I'm thinking probably Thursday, there will be the day in the life of a fairy. So don't miss it. See you all later. Bye.